Viewers, you're watching the Explosive Exclusive with me and Navika Kumar, and today the story has taken, the Sushant Singh Rajput story, viewers, has taken a mysterious turn that is increasingly throwing up questions related now to foul play. So Navika, what we are beginning to hear are insider accounts. You in the morning today broke the story of how the Enforcement Directorate had begun a probe into the disappearing cash. Now there are all sorts of mysterious medicines that Sushant Singh Rajput started taking after he met Rhea, and we are being told by individuals very close to him, like his trainer Swamy, that this was a man who never ever took medicines, even if he was ill. But after meeting Rhea, something changed. He was a changed man. That's exactly what the father's complaint that was made to DCP in Bandra in February said, that he was in bad company. Maybe he didn't have anything concrete at that point to say.
Yes.
But he said bad company, and that bad company could have been investigated. We don't know why the Mumbai Police didn't do that. Then his friend Sandeep Singh also came out and said that Rhea was nowhere when he died. She was not there at his flat. She was not there at the funeral. Where did Rhea go? And then the father also says that Rhea was disconnecting him from his own family. And now this insider account coming in from Sushant's trainer and his friend, who makes some startling revelations. Trainer admits that the late actor was taking medicines which hampered his workout. He also says that when Sushant rejoined his workouts about 6 months ago, he was a changed man. He never took medication before, but when he came back, his hands and legs shivered while working out. Let's just listen. Yes. I mean, if you look at those pictures, Navika, you can see a very agile personality. I mean, look at this man. At the peak of his fitness, he's doing things which professional athletes can only do, gymnasts can do. And look at this. He is obviously a very strong, physically capable individual, but that all changed. It all changed within 6 months.
And Swamy says that he was somebody who was averse to taking medicines. And look at that particular workout. You know, he is like doing weights. Yes. He is doing very, very tough physical training, and I don't see
high
any
impact, high performance sport. It's called
absolutely
these martial arts, etc. That he is,
and he was an extremely fit guy. Just look at these. These are visuals of his workout. Now, does this look like a guy who was facing depression?
I don't know.
Mental problems?
I find this very strange that a person would have become so weak physically. Look, I mean, things can go wrong mentally. Now, was it because he was under a lot of stress? This all changed, according to the trainer, after he met Rhea. So something happened. Rhea, you know, I don't know. We can't speculate, obviously, because she's not here to tell her side of the story. But the fact of the matter is, Navika, a man came back transformed, changed, weak, hooked on some kind of medication. Dengue pills, he said at one time. Then he said, no, I'm, taking medicine and I have to complete this course. I've been told to complete the course by who? These are the big questions.
And look at the corroboration of the story. Sandeep Singh says he had no mental illness. We used to discuss music, we used to dance, and he used to say, don't pay attention to what the media says in terms of your film being criticized, or don't even give any credence to what is being said about you in the industry at that level. And they were happy, they were in touch. Then a totally unconnected person who's not part of that friend circle, who's his trainer, tells you the same story, that Rhea came in and something changed. And that is exactly what the father says in his complaint as well. Now, somewhere the common factor in all of this is coming out to be Rhea. You're right, we don't know what Rhea's side of the story is. Rhea hasn't opened her mouth. All we know is Rhea has earlier asked for a CBI investigation. Now she's approached the Supreme Court for transferring the case to Mumbai Police. But let's listen in, because at the moment there is some corroboration to some sort of a foul play angle or some sort of a change angle in Sushant Singh Rajput after Rhea comes into his life. What that is, listen in from those who were close to him and were interacting with him on a daily basis. Listen in to his trainer's account.
Yeah.
Swamy, we understand that you were the gym trainer of actor Sushant Singh Rajput. So, can you please tell us, I mean, was he on medications? I mean, for gym also you need some certain kind of other diets to be followed. So, were you aware of any medication that he was taking?
Any kind of medication, to be honest, I don't know. Because it was the dengue thing, which I also knew that, Sushant was not keeping well, and the medication for dengue was enough.
So you were told that he was taking medications for dengue.
Yeah.
But the family is saying that he never had dengue, and everybody was told about it that he just had dengue.
Yeah, that's what even I knew about it. But I never got a chance to see the reports because it was Sushant who actually told me that he's on medication for dengue. So I said, fair enough, that's not a problem.
So with dengue medications also he used to work out?
With those medications he never used to work out. Okay. But we used to set the timings actually. So in the mornings we used to work out, and then after breakfast we used to talk about taking the medication during the breakfast. But most of the time the medication time used to go haywire.
But didn't you find it a little? Yeah, Swamy. So are you, as you mentioned that Sushant Singh Rajput was taking some kind of medication, were you aware, and you guys used to discuss about it, were you aware that was it psychotropic drugs which basically affects mental health of a person?
Each and every medication does. There's no denying the fact that no medication does it to you, because at the end of the day, those are not medications. Eventually, those are drugs what you take. Okay? So somewhere or the other, whatever he was taking it, he told me that he was taking it for depression.
Okay. What did he tell you? Can you please come again?
He was taking it for depression.
Okay. So did he tell you that he felt better after taking those medicines, or how did he feel?
We had just started with those things when we actually started training. We started off with the training, but that was the time he started taking the medication as well.
Okay. And this is during the period of December 2019?
December. No. This was December 2020. Oh, sorry, 2019.
2019, right. So, so basically he had just started taking those medications. So you are also a gym instructor. What did you tell him? Because these medications, I mean, what did he tell you that it enhanced his performance when he's working out, or it affected his
to be very
mental?
honest, it had a negative impact.
It had a negative impact?
Right. So that is what I told him. So let's do one thing. Let's focus more on the physical aspect instead of the medication. But he had told me that the course of the medication is about to get over, and since he has started with those things, he just wants to complete it, because even leaving the course, in the midway is actually not good.
So, I mean, you mentioned about it, that it had a negative impact. So, can you please elaborate how negative, what kind of a negative impact was it?
It used to create too much of anxiousness in his body.
Too much of anxiousness. So, when he was working out...
Right. That was the time his hands and feet used to get numb,
It used to get numb, okay.
Yeah.
And any other changes that you noticed?
That's it. I think usually we were working out after a very long time as well, and whenever you're doing that also, it happens with this, it goes hand in hand. So that
but generally when we discuss with our trainers as well, like how you are performing in the gym as well. So did he tell you that probably these medications are not helping me work out and anything of that sort? Did you guys discuss? Did he discuss with you?
No, we never discussed about these things. So he just told me that, he's taking it to get well. Okay? He's going to be sitting around with these medications. He never said something negative things about those, because he was actually on the course. The course had just begun.
Are you aware that what was the duration of this course by any chance? Did he tell you that?
He told me for a month or two maybe mostly. He just told me bro, it's gonna get over. But I actually know him really well, So because medication doesn't work for Sushant, to be very honest.
Okay, and when you told him that he can basically rectify this via workout as well, he still insisted on continuing with the medication?
Yeah, he said that since I've started it, let me, get done with the course of the medication what I've started. Because leaving in the midway is also not good for the body,
Okay. And did you have any kind of alertness or basically red alert in your mind, considering he was taking medications and what kind of medications it will be? Did you try to find out, because you guys were so close friends?
Yeah, I told him, but he told me that, the medications, honestly, it was more about the Sushant's what I used to rely on. So I asked him, so you know the things what you're doing, right? So he said, I know the things what I'm doing. He said, like I'm doing it, the doctor told me to do it. I said, fair enough, I'll do it with your word, okay? And I'm not going to be getting into this thing.
No, but
So,
because you raised this alarm bells, what was this medicine that he was taking, and why did you feel that alarm bells had to be rung in his mind?
No. This was not nothing, because since before me I'm saying, even like prior I'm saying, even when Sushant used to fall sick, just a normal, viral as well. So Sushant never used to take medication.
Oh,
he never believed in medication.
Oh.
Yeah, so he always used to get better with the physical activities what he was doing.
Oh, okay.
And that is what we were discussing in the month of December when he started with the depression.
So that also must have come as a surprise to you that he is also believing in
Exactly. That is what. It was a big surprise for me. But he told me that, bro, since, I have just gotten out of dengue. Okay. And now I'm on these medications.
So dengue leave he had taken? Any sort of basically you need some time to recover. So any leave kind of a
Yeah,
thing?
he did. In the month of November, he did tell me that, bro, I've taken good amount of rest. Okay. Especially when he came back from Paris. That was in October. Yeah, like he came back from Paris in the month of October. Sorry?
Came back from where?
After coming from Paris itself, he was down with dengue.
Okay. And did he tell you that who had basically asked him to take these medications? A doctor, anybody's insistence?
No. He told me that there's a doctor, and he has prescribed it. And I said, fair enough, the counseling sessions are going on. I did ask him about this, and he said, yes, the counseling is going on. So I was more concerned about the counseling sessions.
So you have been training Sushant since a long time. You feel in the last 6 months, when he again resumed training with you, there was a stark difference in the Sushant that you knew and the Sushant that is now, that you met later on?
Yeah, there was a difference.
What was the difference?
Yeah.
What was the difference?
There was a difference. It's just that, about the medications and other things, that Sushant never used to believe in all these things. But somehow or the other, to be very honest, it hits you as well, because he came out of dengue. And he was concerned more about his health. He wanted to get back on track, So, switching anything on and off, instantly, also has negative impacts on your body. So, he was more concerned about the things.
But I mean,
like what I'm doing right now. Yeah.
When this news came up, like he basically committed suicide, what was the reaction that went on your mind? I mean, what did you feel? How was it? I mean, did you feel...
To be very honest, like I told you, on the 29th, my mom passed away. He called me on the 1st of June, So I didn't get time at all to register, because I was going through a different phase altogether where I had lost my mom, and after 2 weeks, it was Sushant. So for me, it was actually, to be very honest, I didn't know what was going on.
Okay, but was it like must be a very big shocker for you? Or like, did you actually... A lot of people are saying that he was going into depression. So have you also seen that phase? Did you also see that phase?
With me, it was never really that okay. Somewhere or the other, the workouts got a bit hampered, in the sense like workout nahi ho pa raha tha. Things would get different, but not much. Not so much where, something like this could happen.
Okay, Swamy, thank you for talking to that. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's an important revelation made by the trainer of Sushant Singh Rajput, but we're getting some more breaking news coming in. Breaking news at this moment: Bihar government has roped in senior advocate Mukul Rohatgi to represent them in Supreme Court. This is after the Supreme Court has been moved by Rhea and her legal team in asking for the case to be shifted from Bihar Police to the Mumbai Police. Mukul Rohatgi, former Attorney General, will represent the Bihar government at this point in time. That's the big breaking news that we are getting. Our viewers, it's becoming a huge case, and you can see by the battery of lawyers who are fighting this case. Sushant Singh Rajput's father being represented by Vikas Singh, former Additional Solicitor General. Bihar government being represented by Mukul Rohatgi, former Attorney General. And Mr. Satish Manasinde, who has been the lawyer for Sanjay Dutt and very high-profile cases in Mumbai in the past, is representing Rhea Chakrabarti. This is a big stakes case, as foul play versus no foul play becomes the legal procedure in courts now. Let me go across to our reporters joining me live. Kajal Iyer joins me live from Mumbai. Also joining me this evening is Siddhant. Kajal, high stake game going on here, and clearly the lawyers, if they are any indication, this is getting serious and the foul play angle seems to be gaining some credence.
You know, the fact that was mentioned yesterday very prominently by everyone was that Rhea Chakrabarti seems to have engaged Satish Manasinde, who's a very well-known criminal lawyer here in Mumbai and has represented for certain high-profile cases. Everyone had been wondering how was she able to get someone like him, and now the Bihar government has gone ahead and upped it further by giving someone who has handled the most high-profile cases in the past few months, Mukul Rohatgi himself, and so they have actually hired him for putting up their side. We do know that the Mumbai Police has already received notices from the Supreme Court with respect to what their stance is on this particular petition that has been filed by Rhea and the caveat filed by the family, and now the Bihar government going ahead and engaging Mukul Rohatgi to put their side across, because some of the questions that may be put across to the Bihar police would be as to why they registered this case when it was not in their jurisdiction, what was the logic behind it, and what are the compelling reasons where they felt that they needed to send a team across to Mumbai. So these will be some of the points that Mukul Rohatgi will actually defend for the Bihar government and try and find out. And you know, one of the things, of course, that the Bihar government will try to focus on is whether or not the Mumbai police is cooperating with them. As of now, the team here, both the days that we have spoken to them, said that the Mumbai police is cooperating, but the very fact that it's not the Mumbai police chauffeuring them around and that they are either using private vehicles or an auto rickshaw in this particular case shows that there is some amount of lack of communication there. All these aspects will be brought forward by the Bihar government when the case comes up to the SC.
Well, that's really a stunning new twist, viewers. Obviously, we are closing in on a motive, and in this particular case now it's becoming hard to argue against the logic, Navika, that there was something very wrong in the last 6 to 8 months of Sushant Singh Rajput's life.
We have more disclosures coming in. In fact, big breaking news coming in. Dr. Subramanian Swamy, who is for the first time questioned the autopsy report. He's questioned the details of Sushant Singh Rajput's death. He's written a letter to the Prime Minister. And this letter, Subramanian Swamy points out that I had written a letter to you dated 15th of July, and you had acknowledged the letter on the 20th of July. In that letter, I had said justice must be done to this very young, talented star of Bollywood and Sushant Singh Rajput. Now, the need for a CBI inquiry has become even more necessary. An FIR has been registered in Patna. Thus, now 2 states are investigating the matter arising from the same sad event. Therefore, it is in the larger interest of justice that this should be a single investigation, which is not possible as Bihar Police and Mumbai Police are both involved in this case. We will try and go across to Ishkaran Bhandari to join us on this breaking news information. But getting in Bhaktosh at this point, Bhaktosh, Subramanian Swamy stepping in once again. Where do you think this is going to go? Is the CBI even talking about trying to look at this investigation, given the fact that both Bihar Police and Mumbai Police are now going to be fighting this case in the Supreme Court?
Navika, the fact is that CBI has the resources to handle high-profile cases. They have done this in past in the Jia Khan suicide case. They have filed a charge sheet against Suraj Pancholi, and they have units which specializes in such cases like the elite special crime unit, which is presently probing the Tamil Nadu custodial death case. Having said that, it all depends on to what happens in the apex court when the matter will be heard. It would be a big legal battle between Mukul Rohatgi, Satish Manshinde, and also Vikas Singh. Bihar government wants its case to be heard, and that's the reason why they have hired probably one of the best legal brains in the country. CBI on its part has said they can take over the investigation whenever the Maharashtra government says so. But the fact remains that yesterday Maharashtra Home Minister Mr. Deshmukh again made it very clear that the case would not be handed over to the CBI. But some developments did take place today also when the Enforcement Directorate, which is a federal probe agency, stepped in and asked Bihar Police to give the details of the FIR as well as the other documents so that they can pursue and see whether this case is fit to be filed under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. And probably because ED has mandate to probe such cases, this is the first time that a federal probe agency has shown some interest in the mysterious death of Sushant Singh Rajput.
Well, obviously, this is now very, very, very serious because also the financial angle coming out very, very clearly. Bhavtosh talking about it. We've been telling you viewers all through yesterday that as far as the transactions are concerned, money was disappearing from Sushant Singh Rajput's bank account, and the credit cards were, or at least one of them was being used by Rhea Chakrabarti. Was it with his prior permission? Was it not? All these are now questions that are obviously extremely pressing and urgent. The Enforcement Directorate looking at the FIR now very, very closely, we are being told, because on the back of that, they are going to probe the financial angle and also look at a possibility of money laundering. Remember, two companies were floated, floated under very mysterious circumstances. Viewers, Sushant Singh Rajput was babbling to his trainer incoherently about starting some organic business. The companies that were founded are both, the addresses on the company, the registered addresses on the company are traced back to a flat that is owned, in fact, by Rhea Chakrabarti's father, and that's the name and the address on those companies. So it seemed like every which way all the roads were leading back to Rhea Chakrabarti. It was almost as if Sushant Singh Rajput's entire life, his career, including his expenses, his finances, were all being controlled by Rhea Chakrabarti and her family. A large number of discrepancies emerging. We also accessed those documents from the ROC, and we can tell you that in one of those, a share of 1 rupee was for some strange reason hypothecated to Rhea Chakrabarti's brother Shovik, which is very strange.
Strange because his particulars are listed as a student. And if Sushant Singh Rajput and his finances were being used to prop up this student's career, we don't quite know, but it's a question that is being looked at. But joining us on the phone line is Ishkaran Bhandari, who's been following this entire case on social media. He's been writing letters, he's been getting in touch, and he's been mounting the pressure for a CBI inquiry. Thank you, Ishkaran, for joining me and Rahul here on exclusive. Ishkaran, Dr. Subramanian, Swamy writing yet another letter to the Prime Minister. Do you think the fact that now this matter is in Supreme Court, the Enforcement Directorate has walked into the case, this case now requires a detailed investigation, number one, at the money laundering aspect, and number two is the criminal case on whether this was a murder or a suicide?
Navika ji, I have just seen how you have broken two news on 6 p.m. One was what the trainer was saying that the Sushant was put on some pills and etc. Second, on his bank account. So it obviously shows that there is a very murky conspiracy going on, which requires investigation. If those pills were being fed to him, then it becomes a case of murder. Because if you were put on medication and after that medication your mind was altered, that you did something, then it does not remain a mere abetment of suicide. Then that becomes a mind which gets altered by pills. Second part of the money laundering, in which ED has come into the case now of money laundering. That means that this money would need to be attached because it becomes the proceeds of crime, which ED routinely attaches then. So this adds a new dimension. And if you remember the case of Mumbai Shinapura, at the time in 2015, it was transferred to CBI. The Maharashtra government, one of the reasons the Maharashtra government transferred it, they said it has a lot of financial angles involved, which would need investigation by a central agency, and it may have international financial impacts also. So then it is classically being set up for it to be a case to be invested by central agencies, ED, CBI. We are hearing now medications are being done, and this requires a thorough investigation. Only then we can come to a conclusion of what actually happened, because people deserve to know, the family deserves to have closure, and that will only come by a thorough, independent, neutral, transparent investigation, which it looks Mumbai Police is not doing in this case, because what you are breaking in 45 days, they didn't even register an FIR. If you can break this news, if you can talk to the trainer, why did they do all this? That is a startling question they need to answer.
Now, Ishkaran Bhandari, Dr. Swamy has been building up on an angle that seems to suggest that this death was not a suicide. Now, what do you believe about that? Because series of inconsistencies, there are a series of inconsistencies.
Rahul, there are a series of inconsistencies which have been documented in the last few days. My personal view is I have been calling it from day one a mysterious death. I am saying there was not even a Mumbai Police was not even doing a criminal investigation. So I believe first you investigate. We saw in Sunanda Pushkar. First year it was suicide. In 2015, police registered an FIR of murder, but they filed a charge sheet of abetment to suicide. Now in court, in argument on charge, they are saying it's again murder. So this investigation will go through many ups and downs, because we have seen it's a very murky investigation. It's a very murky situation. So first step, I believe, is you need to have a central agency transparently investigating it. After that, the conclusion they come to in a final report, that we can study and say it's abetment to suicide or murder. But we are not even seeing an investigation happening. That is the shocking part of this case. Let a transparent investigation happen. And as I said, if what the trainer is saying bears out, that he was not used to having pills, and then he started having pills.
Just hold on, because we are getting visuals of the police at Ankita Lokhande's residence. Now, Ankita Lokhande, Navika, was a former friend of Sushant Singh Rajput. How does she fit into this picture?
Well, Ankita Lokhande is the first one who actually went and spoke to the family. Yesterday, Sandeep Singh, who is the friend of Sushant Singh Rajput, said that he had met Ankita on the night of the funeral, on the night of Sushant Singh Rajput's funeral, and she's the one who's led the family into looking at the Rhea angle, because she said that Sushant Singh was in touch with her. He used to call her. He used to tell her that he was feeling trapped in this relationship. That's the version she's given. It is that has led to the family looking at this entire matter. And when I asked Sandeep Singh the question on why did the family take 43 days to file this complaint and an FIR, he said the family was in a state of shock, and the family was going through, and in Bihar, their entire rituals that go on after the demise of somebody, go on for about 40 days. So they really were in no state of mind before that. And Ankita has been the link who has really talked about Rhea.
Let's get in Nilotpal Mrinal. Nilotpal Mrinal, who is a close friend of the family, who has also been guiding Navika, the Mumbai Police, and helping them, the Bihar Police rather, and trying to unearth leads.
In fact, yesterday it was in his BMW that he took the Bihar Police to the house of sister of
Let's get him into this. Nizam Bhai, if he's connected, let's go straight across. Yes, thanks Nilotpal Mrinal for speaking to us here. Bihar Police has filed an FIR, but what's your assessment of the Mumbai Police probe? What do you think about it?
रजिस्टर्ड नहीं है
जी।
मैं आपको दो चीज बोलता हूँ, सब क्लियर हो जाएगा। आप उसकी ITR देख लीजिए ना। Since when she is Bombay, the Bihari रजिस्टर्ड नहीं है। आप किस एंगल में इसको जांच कर रहे हैं? आप इस बात को समझिए। तो मुंबई पुलिस ने 10 मिनट में उसको सुसाइड बोल दिया था, तो उनको सुसाइड प्रूफ करने की जांच हो रही है ये तो। और ये जो FIR है इनके डैड ने किया है, वो ही इज द विक्टिम हियर, नॉट सुशांत भाई विक्टिम है। आप समझिए, मुंबई पुलिस जो जांच कर रही है वो सुशांत भाई को लेके कर रही है। ये जो FIR वो टोटली अलग है, इसमें उनके फादर विक्टिम है। द FIR इज डन इन पटना, ही 74 years old, and the girl who is going to High Court or Supreme Court, they should understand that the same girl. Hello.
Yeah. Go ahead. We can hear you, sir.
The same girl went to Supreme Court and High Court. Why? When on 15th of July he tweeted Amit Shah ji on and Instagram she wanted CBI probe.
Ji.
You go meet Mumbai Police. You come to Bihar and talk to Mumbai Police why you have done FIR and get everything cleared. There is something fishy that she went to Supreme Court. Why she went to Supreme Court? Come, go and meet Bihar Police and clear all the point which is mentioned there. What is the harm in mentioning it? There is no harm in mentioning it. But if there is something, then you have to go there. Bihar Police is not calling you in Bihar. They have come to, they might talk to you after, proving all point of the FIR. They will investigate all point of FIR. They will meet you. So the thing is, when what I spoke to media or what I am doing is the fact. What I am talking about, that Buddha Karan, Mahesh Bhatt or Karan Johar is a fact. Everyone, India is knowing that. It is not that something I will have to take someone's permission. What Karan Johar do in his All India Bakchod show, and Rajiv Masan, he doesn't like a Kedarnath movie, does all bullshit, and AIB में अपना पिछवाड़ा दिखाता है वो, हाँ? और आपका आमिर खान जो है वो PK मूवी में एक्टिंग करता है, साथ में वो एक ट्वीट नहीं करता है, और चाइना जो इंडियन सोल्जर को मारता है वहां पे वो वीडियो बनाता है कोरोना के लिए, और उसके फैमिली को इंडिया सेफ नहीं लगता। मतलब क्या हो रहा है यहाँ पे? मतलब कि कोई बाहर से अपने मेहनत पे अपने आप को एस्टैब्लिश करे और इंडस्ट्री के लोग उसको हर दिन कुछ ना किसी तरीके से नीचा करते रहे, मतलब क्या होता है? सो द थिंग इज, इट्स नॉट ओनली इंटरनल थिंग हैज हैपेंड, एक्सटर्नल फोर्स भी लगा है, इंटरनल फोर्स भी लगा है, एंड इफ ही हैज डन बाय हिमसेल्फ, तो ही इज नॉट मैड ना, ही वाज नॉट मैड ना। अपनी जिंदगी में इतना पैसा हो के ही हैड मसेराटी, रेंज रोवर, सच लग्जरियस लाइफ, एंड वन फाइन डे ही विल गो एंड डू सुसाइड। डजंट इट साउंड बुलशिट? The thing is, there is something which will come out. If every point of FIR is correct, it's not about Supreme Court. If everything point is it's a crime, then the government, the court or Supreme Court will have to give justice to the victim. The victim here is his dad, not Sushant Bhai. The FIR is done by Sushant Bhai dad, and he is the victim here, asking for justice. What is the harm in it? And the provision in law is that any person can get justice as per the constitution. I think she doesn't understand what is happening. It's the case filed by his father, and he's the victim here. Sushant Bhai is not the victim, and he is 74 years old. She is just 28, 29. She can go Europe with his money. She cannot go to Patna. What is the issue in going to Patna? She should go. She should face the Bihar Police. She should help Bihar Police in Bombay. Why she is hiding, calling lawyers? Why she is spending money? And the money she's spending, I think it is of Sushant Bhai only.
Nilotpal ji,
how many movies here?
Yes, just stay on with us, because I want you to hear something. I want you to hear the conversation that we've had between the trainer who is saying things that you are saying. In the same capacity, the trainer who told us that after meeting this friend of his, Rhea, Sushant Singh Rajput was a changed man. There were behavioral differences. Let's listen into that conversation.
पहले वो दवाई खाता नहीं था और अब दवाई के बाद उसका एक्सरसाइज करना मुश्किल हो गया था। आप सुनिए समी अहमद को।
Yeah, Swamy, so are you, as you mentioned that Sushant Singh Rajput was taking some kind of medication, were you aware, and you guys used to discuss about it, were you aware that was it psychotropic drugs which basically affects mental health of a person?
Each and every medication does. There's no denying the fact that no medication does it to you, because at the end of the day, those are not medications. Eventually, those are drugs what you take it. Okay? So somewhere or the other, whatever he was taking it, he told me that he was taking it for depression.
Okay, what did he tell you? Can you please come again?
He was taking it for depression.
Okay. So did he tell you that he felt better after taking those medicines, or how did he feel?
We had just started with those things when we actually started training. We started off with the training, but that was the time he started taking the medication as well.
Okay. And this is during the period of December 2019?
December. No. This was December 2020. Oh, sorry, 2019.
2019, right. So,
Yeah.
So basically, he had just started taking those medications. So you are also a gym instructor. What did you tell him? Because these medications, I mean, what did he tell you that it enhanced his performance when he's working out, or it affected his
to be very
mental?
honest, it had a negative impact.
It had a negative impact.
Right. So and that is what I told him. So let's do one thing. Let's focus more on the physical aspect instead of the medication. But he had told me that the course of the medication is about to get over, and since he has started with those things, he just wants to complete it, because even leaving the course, in the midway is actually not good.
But I mean, you mentioned about that it had a negative impact. So can you please elaborate how negative, what kind of a negative impact was it?
It used to create too much of anxiousness in his body.
Too much of anxiousness. So when he was working out...
Right. That was the time his hands and feet used to get numb,
It used to get numb, okay.
Yeah.
And any other changes that you noticed?
That's it. See, usually we were working out after a very long time as well, and whenever you're doing that also, it happens with this, it goes hand in hand. So that is
but generally when we discuss with our trainers as well, like how you are performing in the gym as well. So did he tell you that probably these medications are not helping me work out and anything of that sort? Did you guys discuss? Did he discuss with you?
No, we never discussed about these things. So he just told me that, he's taking it to get well. Okay? He's going to be sitting around with these medications. He never said something negative things about those, because he was actually on the course. The course had just began.
Are you aware that what was the duration of this course by any chance? Did he tell you that?
He told me for a month or two maybe mostly. He just told me bro, it's gonna get over. But I actually know him really well, So because medication doesn't work for Sushant, to be very honest.
Okay, and when you told him that we can basically rectify this via workout as well, he still insisted on continuing with the medication?
Yeah, he said that since I've started it, let me, get done with the course of the medication what I've started. Because leaving in the midway is also not good for the body,
Okay, and did you have any kind of alertness or basically red alert in your mind, considering he was taking medications and what kind of medications it will be? Did you try to find out, because you guys were so close friends?
Yeah, I told him, but he told me that, the medications, honestly, it was more about the Sushant's what I used to rely on. So I asked him, so bro, you know the things what you're doing, right? So he said, I know the things what I'm doing. He said, like I'm doing it, the doctor told me to do it. I said, fair enough, I'll do it with your word, okay? And I'm not going to be getting into this thing.
No, but because you raised this alarm bells, what was this medicine that he was taking, and why did you feel that alarm bells had to be rung in his mind?
No, this was not nothing, because since before I'm saying, even like prior I'm saying, even when Sushant used to fall sick, just a normal, viral as well. So Sushant never used to take medication. He never believed in medications. Yeah, so he always used to get better with the physical activities what he was doing.
Okay.
And that is what we were discussing in the month of December when he started with the depression.
So that also must have come as a surprise to you that he is also believing in
Exactly. That is what. It was a big surprise for me. But he told me that, bro, since, I have just gotten out of dengue. Okay. And now I'm on these medications.
So dengue leave he had taken? Any sort of basically you need some time to recover. So any leave kind of a
thing? Yeah, he did. In the month of November, he did tell me that, bro, I've taken good amount of rest. Okay. Especially when he came back from Paris. That was in October. Yeah, like he came back from Paris in the month of October. Sorry?
Came back from where?
After coming from Paris itself, he was down with dengue.
Okay. And did he tell you that who had basically asked him to take these medications? A doctor, anybody's insistence?
No. He told me that there's a doctor, and he has prescribed it. And I said, fair enough, the counseling sessions are going on. I did ask him about this, and he said, yes, the counseling is going on. So I was more concerned about the counseling sessions.
So you have been training Sushant since a long time. You feel in the last 6 months, when he again resumed training with you, there was a stark difference in the Sushant that you knew and the Sushant that is now that you met later on?
Yeah, there was a difference.
What was the difference?
Yeah.
What was the
There
difference?
was a difference. It's just that, about the medications and other things, that Sushant never used to believe in all these things. But somewhere or the other, to be very honest, it hits you as well, because he came out of dengue and he was concerned more about his health. He wanted to get back on track,
Mm-hmm.
So switching anything on and off, instantly, also has negative impacts on your body. So he was more concerned about the things.
But Swamy, you tell
what
me,
I'm doing right now. Yeah.
when this news came up, like he basically committed suicide, what was the reaction that went on your mind? I mean, what did you feel? How was it? I mean, did you feel...
To be very honest, like I told you, on the 29th, my mom passed away. He called me on the 1st of June. So I didn't get time at all to register because I was going through a different phase altogether where I had lost my mom, and after 2 weeks it was Sushant.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it was actually, to be very honest, I didn't know what was going on.
Okay, but was it like must be a very big shocker for you, or like did you actually? A lot of people are saying that he was going into depression. So had you also seen that phase? Did you also see that phase?
With me, it was never really that okay. Somewhere or the other, the workouts got a bit hampered in the sense like workout nahi ho pa raha tha. Things would get different, but not much. Not so much where, something like this could happen.
Okay, Swamy, thank you for talking to us. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, Nilotpal Mrinal, I want to come back to you. ये जो मेडिकेशन का एंगल है, ये जो रिया का एंगल है, इस पर समी अहमद भी कहते हैं. I want to ask you, what would you say about Rhea and her family who have been named in the FIR? What changes and what is the family suspecting as far as Rhea's role is concerned?
चलिए मैं आपको दो चीज बोलता हूँ, सब क्लियर हो जाएगा. आप उसकी ITR देख लीजिए ना. Since when she is Bombay, the way she is maintaining, कितना मूवी हिट दिया है उसने, कितना कमाया है उसने, और the way she is maintaining, आप चेक कर लीजिए. और दूसरा चीज है कि आप किसी को जो FIR में लिखा है, मैं उसी की बात करूंगा. आई विल नॉट टॉक एनीथिंग एक्स्ट्रा विच इज मेंशन इन द FIR, कि आप डॉक्टर के पास ले गए. आप तो शादीशुदा नहीं थी, आप किस हक से लेके जा रही थी? आपने साइन कैसे किया फैमिली के भी? आपने फैमिली ने आपको कोई NOC दिया था क्या? चाहे हॉस्पिटल में एडमिट हो, चाहे कोई मेडिसिन का, आपने अपने फैमिली से NOC लिया था, आपने फैमिली को इन्फॉर्म किया था. ये लीगल एक्शन इसी में चला जाएगा कि आप किसी को मारने के साजिश के तहत आप उसको दवाई खिला रहे हैं, हॉस्पिटल में एडमिट कर रहे हैं, आप फैमिली से बात करने नहीं दे रहे हैं, नंबर ब्लॉक कर दे रहे हैं. इसका इंटेंशन तो क्लियर है ना ये चीज का, कि किसी को धीरे धीरे मारो, एक बार मत मारो, धीरे धीरे मारो कि उसका शरीर ही काम नहीं करे और खत्म हो जाए. इसका मतलब ये होता है. आपने उनके डैड को कभी बोला कि इनकी तबीयत खराब थी? आप है कौन? आपको क्या महेश भट्ट उनके फादर थे क्या? कि महेश भट्ट की मैनेजर उसके बहन थी क्या? महेश भट्ट है कौन? वो तो परवीन बॉबी को भी उसी डॉक्टर के पास ले गया था, साला वही कूपर हॉस्पिटल सबको लेके जाता है. जिया खान को भी वहीं लेके गया था. मतलब महेश भट्ट जो है क्या इंडस्ट्री का साला मेडिकल हिस्ट्री सबका निकालता है क्या? ये मैंने इसलिए बोला कि ये जो मैटर जितना सिंपल दिखता है उतना है नहीं. यहाँ पे इंटरनल एक्सटर्नल फोर्स लिखा के आदमी को इतना कमजोर कर दिया गया है कि भाई उसके पास कुछ ऑप्शन ही नहीं बचा उसके पास करने के लिए. ये सिर्फ मैटर ये नहीं कि किसी ने ये अगर हो सकता उन्होंने खुद से किया था तो उसमें 100 हाथ है. एक हाथ सिर्फ एक आदमी का नहीं है. इंडस्ट्री के जितने राजीव मस्तान टाइप के लोग हैं, जितने करण जौहर टाइप के लोग हैं, जितने महेश भट्ट टाइप के लोग हैं, इन सारे लोगों का इनडायरेक्ट हाथ है. आमिर खान टाइप के लोग हैं. इनसे मूवी छीन ली गई. कितनी मूवी छीन गई आपको मालूम है? पानी मूवी इनके हाथ से चली गई, रामलीला मूवी चली गई, इनके हाथ से राइफलमैन मूवी चली गई, इनके हाथ से चंदा मामा दूर के चली गई, इनके हाथ से नारायण मूर्ति की बायोपिक चली गई. क्यों नहीं उनके डायरेक्टर को बुला के पूछ रहे हैं क्यों मूवी लिया गया? चलिए एक ने क्लैरिफाई कर दिया कि वो बिजी थे, नहीं थे, कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में थे. साला नारायण मूर्ति की बायोपिक जैसे मूवी चली जाती है और किसी को कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. क्यों? क्योंकि बाहर से आके अपना वो मुकाम हासिल कर रहे थे. पटना जैसे छोटे जगह से आके वो आदमी यहाँ पे इतना अच्छा लाइफ, सबको सारे बैरियर को क्रैक कर रहा था. तो आपने पर्पसली क्या रिया को फिट किया था उसके लाइफ में, उसको नीचे लाने के लिए? ये भी चेक करना पड़ेगा. इसलिए मैंने बोला फॉरेंसिक जांच कराइए. जितने लोग केस में इन्वॉल्व है सबके मोबाइल का, और सबका नार्को टेस्ट करवाइए, पोलोग्राफी टेस्ट. जितने लोग कैमरा में आके दे रहे हैं,
मृणाल जी, आप जो कह रहे हैं, आपने बहुत से लोगों का नाम लिया, ये आप इमोशन में कह रहे हैं, आपके पास कोई एविडेंस है, ये तो तय करेगी इन्वेस्टिगेशन। हम इस पर टिप्पणी नहीं कर सकते क्योंकि आप इमोशनल भी होंगे, फैमिली भी इमोशनल होगी, पर आपने नाम लिए हैं, इसकी इन्वेस्टिगेशन,
पूछताछ भी हुई है। हम कई लोगों से जिनके आपने नाम लिए हैं उनके साथ पूछताछ भी हुई है पुलिस की। अब हमें पता नहीं कि उन्होंने क्या जवाब दिया। जो आरोप आपने लगाए हैं वो आई एम श्योर पुलिस ने भी इन्वेस्टिगेट किएंगे, बट ऑब्वियसली Navika, it's difficult for anyone to endorse or even I mean, we can't stop Mr. Nilotpal from saying what he is feeling here right there. It's raw emotion coming out, viewers, raw emotion this evening, raw emotion on the back of disclosures. I cannot blame the friend of the family from speaking, but I just want to ask you, आप बिजनेस के एंगल की बात कर रहे थे कि किस हैसियत से रिया और उनके जो परिवार वाले हैं इनके बैंक अकाउंट को कंट्रोल कर रहे थे। तो मैं आपसे पूछना चाहता हूं कि आपको क्या लगता है कि सुशांत जी ने इनको इतना ट्रस्ट क्यों किया?
नहीं, मेरे ख्याल से 4 कंपनी तो नहीं है, 2 कंपनी है और उसके उल्वे वाले घर पे रजिस्टर्ड है। वहाँ पे भी कल बहुत सारे मीडिया गए हुए थे जो रिया के फादर के नाम पे है। अब उसमें क्या ऑपरेशन होता था नहीं होता था, उसने ज़बरदस्ती कंपनी खुलाई थी, उन्होंने उनका प्रॉपर्टी भी साइन करवा के रख लिया है, उन्होंने क्या क्या चोरी किया है एज पर FIR। उस साल लैपटॉप उनका मिसिंग है, ज्वेलरी मिसिंग है, तो ले के तो नहीं गई, ये चोरी ही उसको बोलते हैं, थेफ्ट ही बोलते हैं। क्लियर हिंदी में समझाए उनको, ठेठ हिंदी में तो चोरी की है तो भैया सामने आके बताओ कहाँ लैपटॉप है, और तो ऑन रिकॉर्ड FIR में मेंशन है। और तुम हाइड करके फेंक दोगे तो सारे घर वाले लोग जिसके सामने ले गई हो उसने तो स्टेटमेंट दिया ही है कि तुमने उठा के ले गई हो, उनका पूरा मेडिकल हिस्ट्री ले गई हो और डराती थी कैमरा पे, बोलती थी कि हम दिखा देंगे पब्लिक को कि तुम पागल हो। वो सब इनको रिटर्न करना पड़ेगा। सोचेंगी और वो डिस्ट्रॉय कर दी होगी तो और वो फंसने ही वाली है। उनको तो सामने ला के दिखाना चाहिए कि हाँ भाई हम ले गए थे किसी रीजन से, वो दे सामने पूरा पासवर्ड, पूरा मोबाइल, जितना डेबिट कार्ड, ATM कार्ड, आज जितना खर्च किए है वो आज तक, जितना निकाल, इंटरेस्ट के साथ लौटाना पड़ेगा उनके डैड को। हम बता रहे हैं इंटरेस्ट के साथ लौटाना पड़ेगा डेड को। बाकी जो सजा सरकार देगी, जितना पैसा वो खर्च किए इनका बिना नॉलेज के, सब उनके फादर का हक बनता है, चाहे सिस्टर का हक बनता है। एक पैसा उसको रिटर्न करना चाहिए, मोरल ग्राउंड पे आके रिटर्न करना चाहिए। आप मांगे ना जाके इतना पैसा वो कमाई की फिल्म
आपके आरोप तो हैं, तगड़े आरोप हैं, but these are allegations which must be taken seriously.
Some of these allegations are part of the complaint and the FIR filed by the Bihar Police, and the Bihar Police is now going to be represented by Mr. Mukul Rohatgi, former Attorney General of India. But Nilotpal जी, आपने टैक्स रिटर्न्स की बात की और आपने नार्को टेस्ट की बात की। आप नार्को टेस्ट और ITR रिटर्न्स में ऐसा कौन सा राज है जिसकी तरफ आप इशारा कर रहे हैं?
उससे पूछिएगा तो उसको बुलाया किसने था, उससे पूछिएगा, वहीं पे समझ में आ जाएगा। कल मैं देख रहा था किसी चैनल पे उसका, आप ये कॉम्पिटिटर चैनल आप जानते होंगे, उस पे वो बोलता है कि हमको महेश शेट्टी ने कॉल किया था। पूछिएगा, महेश शेट्टी का इन्वेस्टिगेशन ऑलरेडी लिया गया है, और मैं आपको बता दूं उसने कॉल ही नहीं किया था। उससे पूछेगा तेरे को कॉल किसने किया था भाई, तेरे को पोस्टमार्टम के लिए जाने के लिए किसने बोला था, तो रूम में क्राइम ऑफ सीन में तू गया वहां पे, तो उसके फैमिली से था, फैमिली ने ऑथराइज किया। तो इसमें क्या, मैं उस पर मैं किसी के बारे में नहीं बोलूंगा ये सब ज्यादा, बट क्या है ना कि लोग अपनी रोटियां सेकने में लगे हैं। वही संदीप सिंह है जो कैमरा में आके सबको क्लीन चिट दे रहा था, पूरे फिल्म फेटर्निटी को क्लीन चिट दे रहा था, और आज वो आके कर रहा है। तो मैं उसमें कमेंट नहीं करूंगा, ठीक है, सबका रोल होता है, मैं अपनी बात कर सकता हूं, और मैं फिर वही बोलूंगा कि मैं ना सुशांत भाई से मिला था, मैं ना उनका, मेरा लाइन अलग है, मैं पॉलिटिकल बंदा हूं, मैं अपना बिजनेस करता हूं। हाँ, उनके बड़े भाई से जो पॉलिटिक्स में है, हम लोग सेम पार्टी से हैं, जुड़े हुए हैं, एक दूसरे को जानते हैं, मेरा वो रिलेशन था। मैं लास्ट फ्यूनरल में था और उस तारीख से लेकर आज तक मैं हर चीज में इन्वॉल्व हूं, मैं एक एक चीज जानता हूं कि क्या हो रहा है, वही मेरा रोल है। मैं नहीं बोलूंगा कि मैंने उनके साथ फार्मिंग की बात की थी ना वो पिक्चर की बात की थी, हम जहां पे हम उतना ही बता सकते हैं। और लोग क्या कर रहे हैं, क्या बोल रहे हैं, कौन अपनी रोटी सेक रहा है, कौन अपना यूट्यूब चैनल चला रहा है, कौन ब्रेकिंग फेक न्यूज चला रहा है, सब मतलब
तो थैंक यू, पहले तो आपको मैं थैंक यू कह रहा हूं निलोत्पल जी, आपने हमसे बात की, खुलकर बात की। ऑब्वियसली ये आपका पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू है। दूसरे साइड हमने अभी सुना नहीं, सतीश माने शिंदे जो रिप्रेजेंट कर रहे हैं रिया चक्रवर्ती का, उनको और उनकी जो क्लाइंट है, उनका क्या व्यू है वो तो अभी बाद में ही पता लगेगा। बट आई थिंक नाविका, द टाइम इज कम फॉर द मुंबई पुलिस टू कम ऑन रिकॉर्ड। आई थिंक वी हैव सीन इन्वेस्टिगेशन इन द पास्ट व्हेन द पुलिस हैज held press conferences, media briefings to tell the public. And this is a very, very important case in the sense that it involves huge public curiosity. It's a public figure. People want to know what exactly is happening, and there is such a big cloud over the entire investigation. They need to come out and start telling us, the media at large, the public at large, what has really been established thus far. And I want to straight away go to some big breaking news also coming in, Navika. We are being told, and Siddhant is at hand. Let's go straight across to him. Siddhant, some revelations coming out now. What are you hearing? Police statement have been accessed. Domestic help made some big revelations. We are being told that obviously the help that was in the house working very, very closely with Sushant Singh Rajput was one of the first to even discover the body, has come out and made some statements that are quite incriminating of Rhea Chakrabarti. Siddhant, what can you tell us? Domestic help reveals that Rhea was into black magic. What's this angle?
Rahul, that's right. This is what the cops have confirmed to me, the Bihar cops. Now they are telling me that they've taken a statement of Meetu Singh yesterday. The statement was recorded last late night. Now Meetu has told in her statement that one of the servants of Sushant told Meetu a few months back that Rhea is into black magic. Now, quoting that servant, Meetu has mentioned this in her statement, and this has been confirmed to us by Bihar Police. Now, the angle of black magic has also come up in this entire in this entire case, and after that, Meetu did not add anything much to it.
Well, Siddhant, is this an emotional outburst because, to prove black magic or something like that? This is, can't be part of forensic scientific evidence that any side can actually prove. Having said that, it could be emotional trauma, it could be allegations, the family is angry, but the moot point is how many people knew Sushant Singh Rajput other than Rhea in his last days? Isn't that what will hold key? Was he in touch with Ankita Lokhande? Was he in touch with Sandeep Singh? Was he in touch with others? Because there are claims and there are counterclaims. Sandeep Singh says he was in touch and he has a message where he was told that he and Mr. Mahesh Shetty were the only two close friends of Sushant Singh Rajput. Nilotpal Mrinal comes out and says they were all using him. It's become a claim versus counterclaim kind of a story. Are Bihar police officials giving you any concrete evidence on the basis of which this entire case can turn, and which is the financial evidence which the Enforcement Directorate is looking at?
Yes, Navika ji, you are absolutely right. As far as this particular thing, what you have mentioned is concerned, then in Bollywood, previously also we had seen that there have been several stories of black magic. I mean, this is not some fresh allegations that we are getting to know. As far as Sushant is concerned, whom he was in touch with, there are a lot of discrepancies and lot of contradicting statements that police have got. Both, if I talk about Mumbai Police, and in the last but not the least, Navika ji, everybody is confirming one thing, that Rhea, everybody is alleging Rhea that since the time Rhea entered Sushant's life, she made sure that Sushant got cut off with everybody from his family and everyone from his friends. So this has been established in Bihar Police's probe also and Mumbai Police's probe also to some extent. Now the fact is, Navika ji, that we ran a story yesterday that how Ankita Lokhande's chats are available with Bihar Police. So Ankita Lokhande gave those chats to Sushant Singh's sister Shweta, and Shweta shared it with Bihar Police. This is what we have been confirmed. We have also been told that while shooting for Manikarnika, Ankita was on set and Sushant texted her to wish her on her birthday. At that time this conversation started and Sushant told Ankita that he wants to end the relationship. And all these conversations, Ankita later, after Sushant's death, handed it over to the family. And now the question again goes out for Mumbai Police. Why? What were they doing? Why didn't they record statement of Ankita Lokhande? Otherwise, things would have been much clearer for them before.
Okay.
Well, it's getting more and more murky, and many angles, many questions, surpassing the number of answers the suicide theory is giving us, and clearly all's not well in this demise of Sushant Singh Rajput. Well, the Mumbai Police refuses to give away the investigations. The Bihar Police laying its claim, fielding bigwigs in the Supreme Court. The matter expected to come up sooner than later. Which way is this investigation going to go? And does the financial transactions, the financial misappropriation in Sushant Singh Rajput's accounts hold the key to this entire mystery?
Absolutely, Navika. We've got to really be asking questions now of the Mumbai Police, and they really need to come into the public and begin to explain these inconsistencies. We leave it at that.